Okay, right now we're going to go over the potential objections that you may hit in the greeting. Okay, this is the website that you want to use. It's unbouncedpages.com/rebuttals. Okay, you want to go up there. You want to type that into your browser. Do not put www. Put it exactly how it's spelled there. Unbouncedpages.com/rebuttals. Okay, so when you're in the greeting, you're going to encounter, I wouldn't even really call them objections. I don't think any objection in the greeting is real because you haven't asked anybody for money yet, right? Like, what can they really object to? Okay, I want you to think for a second. When you go through your introduction, and if you've called at all for any period of time, you will see this and you'll experience this. So what's going to happen is people will give you some pushback. Okay, they may say some things in your introduction that may sound like I'm not interested, or nope, or I already have coverage, or I don't remember, or I never did that. They could say things like that. Now keep in mind, whatever they say in the introduction, you have to look at it as invalid. Okay, so I would not treat anything that they say like this in the intro as valid. You may say, Justin, you're crazy. What if someone already has insurance, right? Well, a lot of people already have life insurance, okay? And a lot of people who say they have life insurance don't actually have life insurance. I've had so many clients who've told me they've had coverage, and then we go through the presentation, we find out they don't even have anything. Their idea of getting coverage was they got a letter in the mail, or they started an application but never finished it, or, well, they had coverage, it turns out, and then they canceled it, or whatever. You want to not treat that as a real objection. So when anybody tells you these things, all you have to do is go to this website and then click one of these buttons when they hit you with one of these, and it will pop up and it will show you different rebuttals to use to those objections, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about a little bit of how you handle these, okay? So when someone tells you they already have coverage, all you got to say is, hey, I understand most people I speak with have coverage. And you can go right back to the presentation. Or, hey, I get it. Most people I speak with already have coverage. I'm not surprised that you do. And I'm not asking you to make any changes right now either. Right back to the presentation, right? I already have coverage. Hey, completely understand. You know, most people I speak with already have coverage. I'd be surprised if you didn't, but they all find this information really valuable. Right back to the presentation. You will be tempted to say, oh, with who? How much do you pay a month? How much coverage do you have? Is that a whole life or a term? You know, you're not going to win anybody over by outsmarting them and proving them wrong right here, that whatever coverage they got, they're overpaying for, or it's not good enough. Okay, you don't want to invalidate their previous attempts to get life insurance, okay? Whenever anybody has coverage, you should be happy for them, because a lot of people don't. First of all, hey, good job. I'm glad you do. It means your kids are taken care of. You want to have that perspective on it. It's not a bad thing for someone to say, I already have insurance, okay? So you handle it. Hey, I totally understand. Most people I speak with already do, but they find this really valuable, and I'm not asking you to make any changes. I'm a state licensed field underwriter, so you transition right back to the script. So right after you hit them with one of these responses here, you want to go right back to the script, okay? You don't want to say how much you have, because the thing is too, if you go to try to just replace the policy immediately, which I do not advise replacements over the phone, okay, or really much at all in life insurance. If you just try to say, what if I can save you money? What happens is you put them in discount mode, and we're not Geico Gecko, okay? You don't want to put them in discount mode, because if you can't save them money, then what happens then? Right? Well, then they're not going to get anything. So you can't say you want to add coverage either, okay? A lot of times they're saying this because it's fear-based. This is the bottom line of all this stuff here. Because think about this. If you called your loved one, aunt, uncle, dad, mother, brother, sister, daughter, son, and you said, hey, I got a program here that I want to go over with you. I'd love to just take a couple minutes to demonstrate this. They probably say, okay, sure, because they trust you, right? Or at least they have a higher they have a higher vision of you and who you are, right? So they know you and they like you, so they trust you. So you got to address anything that you get as an objection in the greeting as fear-based. It's not real, okay? You got to treat it as not real, okay? Until it's further validated. Think about this, perfect example. You go into a clothing store and then you go to Louis Vuitton and you're like, oh, wow, look at this belt. And then the lovely sales associate walks up to you and says, how can I help you? You just say, I'm just looking, right? I'm just looking. I am just looking. I drove all the way to the mall, left my wallet in the car to walk inside and take a look at the clothes that I want to buy, but maybe it's too much money. And even then, I don't know if any belt's really worth $700. But you're going to say, I'm just looking. If you don't, then you went there, you know exactly what you're getting. And you're like, yeah, I want this one. Bring it up. Most of the time, though, you're going to say just looking. Because what happens is we're scared. We get scared. And when you meet someone new for the first time, there's a barrier that has to be broken down through trust. And the only way you can break down a trust barrier is to talk with someone and exchange communication and communicate with them so that they will start opening up to you and talking to them about themselves. And then you want to talk to them about themselves because people like talking about themselves. So in this introduction here, in the greeting, you're going to get a lot of pushback, okay? Don't treat it as anything that it isn't. Don't treat it as real, please, please, please. Now, if someone says, I already have coverage, and then you hit them with that, or they're not interested, hey, no problem. I'm not asking you to make any changes right now. There's some great programs and benefits available for you in, whatever state they're in. And then you jump right back to the presentation. They hit you again. Look, I'm not interested. Okay, no problem. Move on. That's fine. You don't have to try to beat a dead horse here. All we're trying to do is flush it out as something that's not real. And it's important that you treat it like that because our goal is to help people. And you want to have a good conversation with someone. And the only way you're going to have a good conversation with some of these people is to overcome the fears that they feel about meeting new people. All right? So I want you to look at it like that. Focus on this as, okay, we are going to try to go into this presentation and make a friend. And the only way I can make a friend is if I address their fears right away. So if they hit you with any of these objections in the beginning, address it quickly and then move on. Deflect it. Just don't even pay it any mind until they bring it up again. And you can always review coverage later or say, what has you not interested in this, after you go through your rapport building part of your presentation. So that's a little bit on objections in the greeting. To sum it up, don't treat them as real because they probably aren't. And even if they are, you don't want to treat them that way.